for his buddy over there. And when he did, I asked him to speak because Dain's got an awesome story. If you could hear him tell it, if you ever get the opportunity to hear him tell it at length like they do at some events or inside the rooms, then take that opportunity and listen to his story because he has a good one to share. He's been really blessed and highly favored. And he's got some good stuff, and we're grateful to have him here. And Dain, I'll turn it over to you, buddy.
Well, look, I just want to say, thank you for having me, first and foremost. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Look, this is my first time that I've ever done this, so if I stumble up, just bear with me.
You've got it, Dain. Come on. We've been praying all week, man. Come on.
Look, I have been. Look, I've been under attack this last 2 days, and I understand what it meant. Like I've heard my friend Tensley say, I've been under attack. Now I really understand how that happens, so just bear with me. All right. Well, I'll start off with my childhood. Like my childhood was a good childhood. I didn't have no rough spots. I was one of four. I had a twin brother, a younger brother, and an older sister. My mom was a single mother. She raised us right. She raised us as best as she could, Took us camping. We spent a lot of time at summer camps. I mean, like we had the natural boy's life, you know what I'm saying, when we was younger. Like it didn't come from hurt or pain or nothing like that. So I don't know, like, and I'll just leave my childhood like that, you know what I'm saying? I'll just leave that where it is, because my mom did what she could do for us up until a certain point. Then it was all up to us, So, like our battle with drugs, and I say ours because I'm including myself, my twin brother, and my younger brother. And I'll speak on my younger brother's behalf. He's in prison right now. He's in bad prison. He's been locked up for the last 8 years. So if I say us, that's who I'm speaking of, And I'll speak for Eric because that's my other half. Of course, I'm gonna speak for him too. So
I'm a twin too.
are you? Good. So my friend Tensley is too. Like,
Yeah,
so.
I got twins.
You do, yeah. But my path didn't start with substance abuse, alcohol, or whatever you want to call it, till high school. Like I was very insecure growing up, you know what I'm saying? As when I got into middle school, I transitioned to high school. That was a big step for me. That leap right there from middle school to high school was scary. It was a scary step. It was like insecurities overwhelming, acceptance. Like acceptance was a big thing with me. I grew up without a father, so I always was looking for the approval of something, you know what I'm saying? Like I lacked something, and I know it was the acceptance part, you know what I'm saying? So, and with alcohol and drugs, I found out everybody accepts you. The people that are in that scene, open arms. That's where that acceptance come into play for me. Just to see how many arms was open. If they was in that scene, I wanted to be in that scene. I wanted to be right there. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be liked. I want to be loved by those people, and that's how I got my foot into the hole that would eventually, you know what I'm saying, dig me to my lowest point of my life, But as the years progressed, I was with my childhood sweetheart. We had known each other since middle school. So we had kids. There's my daughter right there. We have one of them right there. We had a boy. We had an older son. He's 18 now, and we got twin boys. So this is my first time, so I'm just speaking. Okay.
You're doing great.
All right. So I'll get to my downward spiral. When I caught my charge, and I'm gonna tell you how my thought process was. When I first caught my first felony, I felt like I graduated to something. It's crazy to sit back and think, but I was proud of that felony that I caught that landed me in prison. I was proud of it. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was a man. I was a big boy on campus now. It wasn't until I was 8 months into my sentence, a 4-year sentence. I got a call. I was in Simpson County. I got a call. Their mother had passed away, and it was just out of the blue. It was unexpected, very unexpected. Right then and there, I had already signed up for drug court because I already had in my head like I'm gonna be home with my kids and everything, and that was the easiest out for me. If I get drug court, I can get out and be with my kids, you know. So when she passed, like God knew what He was doing, and this was all God's timing. It's none of my timing. It was God's timing. God let me sit there another month because if He wouldn't have, He knew I would have came home and just been a wreck. He let me sit there another month where I was in Simpson County. If anybody's done time, Simpson County is a good place to do time. You know, there's a lot of good people down in Simpson County. Got a lot of good work programs down there. So I was in a good spot. God put me in a good spot when all this happened. So He shot me out in drug court. And I'll say this too, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm in drug court. I'm about to be fixed. And I've talked to a lot of people that think the same way. Like, if I go through this 18-month program, I'm going to be fixed. All this will be gone. Listen, it don't happen like that. It does not happen like that. I completed drug court without a hitch. And I met a lot of good people in drug court. A lot of people love me because of drug court. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm thankful for drug court. So I completed drug court. It wasn't 3 months later I was getting high again. I was off to the races again, and that binge lasted 3 years, three and a half years. By this time I was selling just to stay high. Like I hadn't, my kids weren't took. Thank God my kids never did get took. My door never got kicked in because if my door would have got kicked in, my kids would have been took. That's a known fact. I remember this fact. I was in my bathroom at home, and I was just, God, I was done with it. I was trapped. That's how I felt when I prayed to God. I was trapped. Like I could not get out of my situation. Like, oh, this people money. I need to get high. I gotta keep going. I'm tired of this lifestyle though. So what do I do? Like I felt completely trapped, and I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm done. Take me out of this. Just help me get out of this. And I say this, no matter how I got caught up and ended up getting out of it, I asked for it all. When I prayed and asked, I asked for it all. It wasn't 45 minutes later after that, I got pulled over with some people that was not from here. I had no business at 12 o'clock at night with these people running around. They had a gun. They had drugs. I ended up taking the fall. I can honestly sit and say none of it was mine, but it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because in the cop's eyes, all of it was mine because I got charged with all of it. So it was mine. So from that point on, went to court, ratification hearing. They yanked my probation so quick just because I was driving on a suspended license. That sent me back to jail for 7 years. 7 years off the rip because I broke that unsupervised probation from where I had got out of drug court. Something as little as driving on suspended. Now I hadn't been to court on the other stuff yet. So I'm in jail sitting. Well, I didn't go straight to jail. Judge Costanzo, let me tell you something. I'm a big fan of Judge Costanzo.
Yep.
I talked that man into giving me 2 days to get my kids straight. Not to put me in jail right then and there. I talked that man into giving me 2 days. He knows my situation. He knows I'm a single father of 4. And he showed mercy. He said, okay, I'm gonna give you 2 days to report. And in my head at that point in time, I'm gonna report. You know what I'm saying? But the closer it came, the time to report, the closer my mind said, do not report. Your kids need you. What are you doing? Da, 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 da. So, long story short, I did not report. I stayed on the run for 3 months. I was eventually caught. Right there, I knew I was hit. It was done. I was wrapped, you know. My daughter, she stepped up to play mother. She came into the house when I was gone. You know, she came to the house, took care of the kids for me. Like a lot of my praise goes to my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like she put her life on hold because of me, because of my decisions, because of my poor judgment, all that. By this time, I'm working in the kitchen down in Bell County. Like I was just stuck. Nothing in my mind said sign up for drug court. Nothing. I'm gonna do my time and that's it. So by the time I go to court over other charges, I'll just say this. After all it was said and done, I ended up with a 14-year sentence. And that's what I still have holding over, a 14-year sentence. Got to talking, and like the people that know me know, like, time does move on. I'm not scared of time. But I said that, like, I lost one person in jail, and that's just the worst feeling. There's no other feeling than, I don't know. And that was one of my biggest fears, was losing somebody else while I was in jail. I was like, oh Lord, I just can't, hopefully it don't happen. So by this time, my twin brother, he was in jail with me. He came in, we shared the same cell for a little bit. I got shipped, he got shipped. He got shipped to Knox County, and he was actually trying to do the drug court thing. He was the one that was signing up for drug court, actually trying to get in drug court. So I went to Clay County, he went to Knox County. After a certain set of time, they pulled me back to Bell County. It wasn't, was it 2 months later? I want to say something like that, right? I cannot tell you. The worst day of my life, you know what I'm saying? Pulled me out of the cell with a buddy. I walked down the stairs to the visiting room. The first person I see is her. Sorry, that's all I hear. And I knew right then and there something was wrong. I knew it was her, because they was. One of my worst fears that came true. I lost my twin brother. And tension knows that hurt.
Yeah.
You go through your life with somebody, and just like that somebody's no longer there, you know? It was a tough pill to swallow. It was real hard. And this is another, God came into play that time. God put me in that place in Bell County around good people, people that loved me, people that respected me, gave me my time, you know what I'm saying? And Gary, he's a good man too. He kept on asking me if I wanted to go. He said, Judge ain't gonna let me take you, but I'm gonna tell you something. He said, I'm not even gonna ask you, Judge, I'm just gonna take you. If you wanna go, we'll go.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I opted out because that's not the last memory of my brother that I want to know. You know, the last memory of my brother was us sitting in the cell, me cracking those little messed up haircuts. So I messed this little line up. We better get that together, you know. But after that happened, it was 3 weeks later, Miss Miller, she said, Dain, why don't you ask for drug court? You went through it once, and Miss Miller, they didn't get drug court again. She said, why don't you try? They love you, Wilford. Why don't you try? And I knew I'd really made the judge mad. I said, there's no way that judge is going to give me. Judge Costanzo's going to give me another try. There's no way. I said, okay. So I started writing. Took my time on the other charges. And if anybody knows, once you go through this process, you got to take your time before you can even ask for drug court. So I took my time on the other charges, sat there another 6 to 7 months, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, and when I say God knows what he's doing, God knows what he's doing. Because they let me back out after it. You know what I'm saying? It's untellable what would happen, you know? I know I probably wouldn't be here, talk to y'all, that's just a fact, you know? So they shot me back out to the drug court. And when they did, like I clicked it in my mind, I've got to do something different. Something that's got to be different, because I've already did this program once, without a hitch, and I just thought I'd be fixed, and it was nothing like that. From that point on, I knew I had to do something different, me.
Yeah.
And you can ask Tim, like, me and Tim we was in addiction together. Like a couple people in here, like I've seen, we've rushed paths in addiction together, you know? And just to see, like, they had a speaker at CR. It's like, I think it was like the first time I ever went to CR when I got into drug court. And I seen him, and I seen that glow he had. I don't know what it was, but that glow that man had, I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that. And that's what I'm chasing after right now. I want that glow, and like it's all about spiritual to me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a spiritual path. I've made up my mind, like, that other way is not my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything I can help with, I can help with. If I can't help with it, I can't help with it. Like, I'm on a godly mission. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to call it, it'll be a mission with it.
Yeah.
You're on a mission, bro. Yes, you are.
But my friend Jeremiah, he had asked me to speak to the youth. And I said, let me get a year in, sobriety time, and I will do it. I think I got 16 and a half months now. I'm right at 16 months right now. Yeah, so
Time's up.
and
That's what he's saying. Give him a day.
like, and where I am now compared to where I was the first time I completed drug court, it's completely different. Completely night and day. Like, don't get me wrong, I went to the drug court the first time with good intentions. By the time I left drug court, I didn't have none of those intentions left, you know? Oh no, it's like I didn't learn nothing. I didn't take no tools with me like I should have. Like, it was just Dain's way. I was very selfish. And that's what it boiled down to me. You know what I'm saying? I was a very selfish person, you know? I didn't care about my kids' feelings knowing that their mother passed, you know? Thank God that I've never been like that towards Stacia, you know what I'm saying? Thank God I've not been like, well, that was my brother. That was just your dad. That's it. That's my brother, though. You know, like I did with my kids. Like, and that right there, I don't never, and I can't even begin to tell my kids how sorry I am for that. But they know. Like, if I can keep on doing what I'm doing, they'll know.
They know.
But I just want to say thank y'all to y'all. I love every one of y'all.
Love you, Dan.
So, and that's about all I got. Thank you.
Woo!